Hey you guys, it's Bree. So I'm out here to see what has been strong enough to survive several freezes now, and unfortunately a lot of things didn't make it. So I thought I'd bring y'all out and show y'all what's going on out here. So the biggest thing out here that you can see didn't make it is my trumpet flowers. These leaves just look so sad, and that's definitely not going to recover. So that thing has a huge trunk down there, and that's going to have to be cut. The pansies are doing okay. You can see the lantana is not doing okay. And this is actually one of my salvias that I haven't seen in a long time. And it's actually coming up poking through the lantana, and it's looking okay. The flax lilies, you can tell, took some damage, unfortunately. Got more pansies and violas. They're doing okay. The lavender, you can tell, definitely took a hit. Got some damage on it. Some of it still looks okay, but I don't know how that one's gonna do. And then this here is my other lantana. Just a big black mushy mess, unfortunately. And then this right here is my hyssop. I think that's a weed growing down there. But the hyssop, you can see, does not look very good. Now my pincushion flowers, they still look beautiful. You can see that right there. So those don't seem to be bothered by the light frost that we've had. And then I can't remember what plant this is that's coming back. I do not remember. Let me see if this is the tag. Actually it is. Let me see if I can wipe it off and show y'all. My freesia. That's what this is growing back. So I'm excited to see that. The plumbago did not do good in the frost at all whatsoever. That's looking pretty sad. And you can see that right there is a bluebonnet, and that right there is a bluebonnet. So they didn't completely die, but I don't think they're supposed to be growing right now. My rose bush doesn't look affected at all by the frost. It's got lots of new growth up here. You can see the maroonish pinkish colors. So it's still doing pretty good. The calla lilies did not survive the frost. These are just completely done for. And then we do have a few irises here, the only ones that have survived, and they're still doing pretty good. It's definitely pretty sad coming out here and seeing all my plants like this. I know this is a part of gardening, and you know, it happens every year. But when it first actually happens, it is pretty sad seeing lots of dead stuff back here. So now we're on the other side of the garden. We do have some irises back there in the corner. This is my hibiscus. This is my ornamental allium. And this black mess right here is my sweet potato vine. You can see these just completely go when the frost comes. My Pavonia rock rose isn't looking too bad. Seems to be doing okay. And the salvia right here seems to be doing okay. Now the thing that I was most happy about that it's still doing okay is what's on my trellis here. My passion flowers. We actually even have some really beautiful flowers on it right now. I don't know if we have any of the blue ones, but we got these three pink ones here. We got this one that's kind of going out right here. But I can't tell if there's any white and blue flowers. I don't see any on it. Now, the leaves definitely took a little bit of damage, but the plant's still alive, so I'm happy to see that. Oh, here's some more pink flowers. I didn't notice those. Really, really pretty. And then this salvia seems to be doing okay. The mums don't look very good. We do have one little flower on there, but these look pretty rough. Now, if you look down at the bottom, there's a bunch of new growth coming on, but the top looks pretty rough. This was another sweet potato vine. This is another hibiscus. And then that was my aster that never really did anything. And the guara looks pretty sad. There's a bunch of new growth. You can see the maroon, that's the new growth, but it looks pretty sad. Then we got my Rose of Sharon And then we have my other hibiscus over here. You can see this one just looks really, really sad. So the majority of the flowers are completely done for. I am surprised to see the salvia and the passion vine flowers still looking as good as they do. So we'll see how long those last for me. Now over here in the pumpkin patch, I was excited because I had 2 little pumpkins growing, but as you can imagine with the frost, the vines aren't looking too good. So here's what the vines look like. Just a big dead mess. But we do have that pumpkin right there, and then we also have that pumpkin. You can see that bright green pumpkin over there. So that one probably is not gonna be salvageable at all, but that one looks like I might be able to save it. Who knows? If not, we'll feed it to the animals. So now I'm gonna go in the actual garden, and that's what I'm really sad about. I was really hoping some of the things that died weren't going to die, but unfortunately basically everything died. So like, as you can immediately imagine, the basil over here just turned to complete mush. Let me show you that. Here's the basil. Really, really sad looking. This was the opal basil, and this was the lemon basil. Now one thing, that's a weed right there. One thing that I'm excited to see is if this rhubarb did just go dormant as I thought it was going to, or if it actually died. As of right now, it's not doing anything, so we'll keep an eye on that. My grapefruit tree, I honestly thought it was going to die with the frost, but it's not looking too bad. So we'll see how she does. Over here, I'm so glad I picked off all those beans because I did lose every single plant. So at least we did harvest what we could before the frost hit those. Over here, as I expected, all my zinnias are done, completely done. So those, won't see those again until spring. Here we have our toy choy. You can see the outer leaves aren't looking too good, but we've got lots of new growth on the inside there. This is my cabbage, still looking okay. Now the broccoli over here looks like it's starting to get eaten by a few things. I don't see anything on it at the moment, but broccoli's looking a little rough. Sadly, I lost the fig bush. That one looks really sad over there. All the leaves have fallen down onto the bottom. So our blueberry bushes, I mean, they still have some leaves on them. I mean, that doesn't look very bad right here. But that one basically has, well, it's got one leaf. One little bitty leaf right there, and that's it. So, I don't know. And then my pineapple sage completely turned to mush with the frost. Strawberries have been completely gone. I was hoping they would regrow, but I think those are 100% dead. This is the bed that I just seeded with all that stuff. So my lettuce, I am surprised. I honestly thought that it was gonna die. And you can see we got the green and the different like purpley colors coming up. So that's pretty cool. Our carrots, we got quite a few carrots popping up down the line here. These ones you can see have the leaves coming up. So that's pretty cool. And then these ones are, I think these are the beets. They might be the radishes, I don't remember. We kind of sprinkled radishes and beets all over these ones over here. And then I do have some Swiss chard coming up as well. I really thought because those were so small and they had just came up, I thought they were all gonna completely die in the frost, but I am happy to see that they have not. Oh, actually, you know what I just saw? Let me turn you around real quick. So the lantana on that side is completely done for. But this is the same plant just on the inside of the garden. It just grew through the fence and it actually still has flowers on it. That's pretty to see, but yeah, completely not expected because of the way that looks over there. So that's kind of cool. I don't know why it lived on the inside of the fence and not the outside, but I'm happy to see those pretty purple flowers when everything else is basically dead. So yeah, so I'm happy to see all these little seedlings made it, and there've even more popped up since the freeze. Now what I'm really sad about, but I'm glad that I harvested before the frost, are my pepper plants. Look how sad all of those look. And so I do regret not harvesting those habaneros, because look, I lost all of them. And then on here, I guess here was a jalapeno that I missed, but it's all squishy, so that's done for. And all those plants are done. Really, really sad. But I gotta think positive. At least I harvested a whole basket full that day before the frost, so that's definitely good. I'm gonna need 2 hands to close this gate. I'll be right back. So I've been looking out the window at the garden and seeing that it's been completely dead. I've come out a couple times just do a quick look at a few things, but just went right back inside. So this next area is over here behind the house where the kids' beds are. My hyacinth bean trellis not only is dead, but the trellis is actually falling over. I don't know if you can tell. Here's the trellis laying completely sideways. So, but as you can see, all that's completely done. I just hadn't had a chance to harvest it just yet. And then the kids' beds, I think almost everything is done in here except for a couple things. So we do have the tomato plants with the tomatoes that I didn't harvest. Those are squishy, so those aren't edible. The, what is that? The Black Beauty eggplant is done. The Gomphrena is done. But the eucalyptus is actually still alive. So that's exciting. Hopefully it survives and doesn't die soon. And then spinning around over here, this is a pepper plant, so it's done. Lantana's done. Other pepper plants are done. That's a weed growing down there. That flower, which I don't know what it is, but it's still alive. No flowers on it. And then this tomato plant had tomatoes all over it, but it's just a big squishy ball. There's some right there as well. Then the celosia is done. All my daughter's zinnias are done. Her Gomphrena still has some color on it. And then what's exciting is her snapdragon, which was basically dead all summer long, is coming back. And then this is, what is that? Marjoram? I don't know. I bought that. Actually, that's one of the free ones that I got. When the feed store by me was giving away all those plants, that's one of the free ones that I got. And it's coming back. It was basically dead all summer long as well. My butterfly bush is still hanging on. It may not look the best, but there's a little bit of color on that tip right there. And then, as to be expected, the dahlias, well, they've been done, honestly. And then we got our zinnias over here. Now, one thing I am excited to show you, look at this sunflower. I honestly thought it was going to die, and it actually has started blooming. Now, it's really, really small. You can see how small it is, but I'm just happy to see that bright color. And we do have a few irises in here, shooting up some new green pieces there. And then all these zinnias are done. So unfortunately, lots and lots of death in the garden right now because of the frost. I hope to one day invest in the frost fabric, and then I could have been able to save a couple of those things, but I didn't do it, so it's okay. There's always next year, but I don't know, there's still a little bit of a break. You know, I don't have to go out to the garden every single day and check on everything. One thing, my, what is this called? Zephyrine Druin Rose. She's still doing okay. Fig bush is basically dead there. But yeah, it's definitely sad to see everything dead in the garden, but I'll get to not have to come out as often and check on everything and worry about watering everything. I actually haven't had to water very much at all. We do have rain in the forecast for the next few days, so this is the time of the year that I don't have to water as much. But last year I had planted a bunch of broccoli, a bunch of cabbage, and all that, and you know, so I had a bunch of stuff to show y'all. I didn't plant that much this year, so I don't have as much to show y'all, but I still wanted to show y'all what I do have. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. We'll see y'all in the next video. you.